Hello and welcome to Public Speaking Tips and Tales with Speaking Coach Kelly. This podcast is dedicated to helping you become a more confident and effective speaker. I'm your host, Kelly K. Walker, and each week we'll dive headfirst into the deep end of public speaking. I'll share real stories from the stage, interview other speakers, and evaluate speeches to show you what works on stage and what doesn't. So let's get started. Welcome back. Today we're diving deep into a topic that often surprises people. Why public speaking is sometimes easier than a simple one-on-one conversation. We've all been there, right? Standing around at a party, surrounded by strangers, maybe only knowing one or two other people. The pressure to make conversation and the fear of awkward silences can feel paralyzing. Some of you might be surprised to learn that that is usually how I feel at parties or events where I don't know anyone. And maybe even more surprising is the fact that I would much rather get up on stage and give a speech in front of a large audience than try to make conversation with a stranger at a party or an event. My social anxiety keeps me preferring the stage over one-on-one conversations. I've heard other public speakers talk about this too, where they have the same issues. Many of us prefer to speak on stage to a room full of strangers than to have a one-on-one conversation with a single solitary stranger, or sometimes even just with an acquaintance. So what the heck is going on here? It's all about anxiety and the different kinds of anxiety we are more susceptible to with our unique set of life experiences. There are two main types of anxiety that can affect us in speaking situations: social anxiety and performance anxiety. Social anxiety is all about the fear of being judged and rejected in social settings. Imagine the party scenario. You feel like everyone else is part of established groups and you're the outsider that everyone is staring at. Every word feels weighed and the pressure to be interesting can be overwhelming. You feel like everyone else already knows each other and you're the new kid. The pressure to be funny can make you want to shut down. How do you choose who to talk to? How can you feel safe striking up a conversation with a stranger when it might ruin your social reputation for all time? Okay, yes, I am exaggerating, but sometimes it just feels easier to pull out your phone and be alone in the crowd than to try to make connections with people you don't know. Performance anxiety, on the other hand, is about the fear of messing up while performing, for a speaker, a presentation. On stage, you might worry about forgetting your speech, appearing unprofessional, or being ridiculed for mistakes. But, it's not like people are in danger of having rotten tomatoes thrown at them or getting booed off the stage, unless they really shouldn't have been on the stage in the first place. But yet, we still might have a fear that everyone in the audience will hate us, or will forget half of our speech, or will look stupid or talentless on stage. By the way, performance anxiety is at the core of stage fright. It all goes together. Both types of anxieties trigger our fight or flight response, but it manifests differently depending on the situation. Social anxiety can produce a fight response where we are determined to fight the awkwardness and force ourselves to strike up conversations despite all the fears we're feeling. Or it can produce a flight response where we just decide to leave or go hide in the bathroom or sit in the corner looking at our cell phone the whole time. Now, performance anxiety, when it creates a fight response, that can look like extreme control issues where we constantly rehearse and have to control every single aspect of our time before, during, and after our presentation. Or the flight response for performance anxiety, which isn't usually an option for speakers, is to struggle with the strong urge to run off the stage, hop in your car, and go home to hide for a week. In all cases, we can experience that classic fight or flight cocktail consisting of rapid heart rate, shortness of breath, sweaty palms, and racing thoughts. So why does public speaking sometimes feel less scary than dealing with the social anxiety of carrying on a conversation with one person, especially someone you've just met? Here's the key. Your social anxiety is much worse than your performance anxiety if this is how you feel. And here's what that might look like for you as a speaker. The concentrated attention. Face to face, the attention on you feels very personal and very focused and concentrated. Social anxiety makes us afraid of being judged or not liked by others. So your conversation partner could be judging your every move and thinking you are a total idiot. But when you're on stage, the spotlight is diffused across the whole room and a diverse audience who have all different kinds of opinions about you. Control issues. In a one-on-one conversation, you have almost no control over the flow and topics of a live conversation. You could say something that offends them, confuses them, or contradicts something you just said. It's like picking your way through a minefield, and you could explode a bomb on that conversation at any moment. But on the other hand, when you're speaking on stage, you control the content, your pace, the delivery. In other words, you're basically controlling everything. So it takes away the fear of where the conversation could go, because it's not a conversation, you're in complete control. There's one other aspect to social anxiety that can make you want to avoid one-on-one conversations, especially at events. And that is the energy vampire. You may have been cornered at some point by a person who energetically drained you dry, and you might not have realized what was happening. And you probably weren't in touch with your own sense of boundaries to escape the conversation without feeling mean and rude. Here's the thing with energy vampires. Usually they don't realize consciously that they are draining you. They just know that they feel more happy and more energized after talking with you, so they want to spend every possible moment in your presence, especially one-on-one, so nobody can interrupt or break that connection. So in order to protect yourself from an energy vampire, you need to recognize that they will drain you as long as you let them. So you need to have a strategy in place to exit as gracefully as possible. This takes courage and assertiveness that you might not be used to. So give yourself lots of practice and lots of grace. Always have somewhere to be so that if you get approached by an energy vampire, you can have a quick conversation and then tell them you need to get to your next destination ASAP. Tell them it was great meeting them with a wave as you walk away. This has worked very well for me several times. So if you have experience being cornered and drained energetically, then getting over the fear of energy vampires will greatly help to reduce your social anxiety. It has for me a lot. Here's a few other ways to manage your social anxiety. Practice conversations. Get someone that you trust and role play quick conversations so that you can build confidence in casual settings. Remember, practice helps with every skill you want to develop and every fear you want to overcome. So practice, practice, practice. Prepare talking points. Even for just a casual chat at an event, having some conversation starters in mind can be a safety net for you. Have a short list of questions you can ask someone that feels fun and natural in case you get to the awkward silence and can't quickly exit the conversation. One of my favorite questions is, what are you working on lately that you're excited about? Boy, when you ask that question, people light up and the conversation flows quickly and easily. Next, focus on connection. Really listen to what the person is saying and how they're saying it, and use that to find ways to connect with them. Changing your focus from your fear to connecting with the other person is really helpful because whatever you focus on grows. Don't focus on your fear or it's going to grow. Focus on connection so that that's what will grow instead. And then finally, acknowledge they might be just as scared as you are. Remember, they might have just as much social anxiety as you, and they're trying their hardest not to run away. So imagine yourself helping them be brave and engaged so that they can overcome their social anxiety, which in turn will help you overcome your social anxiety. All right, that's it for today's episode on why public speaking feels less scary than a one-on-one conversation. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, even leave a review. And if you know someone this episode could help, please share the link with them. If you want to be a better public speaker, it all starts with your stories. To get some free help finding and sharing your life stories, download my workbook designed specifically for finding your best stories to connect with others. You can find the link in my show notes, or you can just go directly to download it at www.kellykWalker.com/workbook. And that is spelled like this: KELLYKAYEWALKER.com/workbook. If you'd like to be a guest on this podcast or have your speech evaluated on an episode, just send me an email at speakingcoachkelly@gmail.com and we will get that set up. Thanks for listening, and I will see you guys in the next episode.